We're catching up with Rebellion here at GDC, finding out a little something about their venture into VR, Battlezone, a game that we first saw at E3 last year, tried it out a little bit. What can you tell us of this experience for those who are unfamiliar with the original brand and for those who are unfamiliar with how you're bringing it back? How would you describe the game?
Okay, well, the original Battlezone came out in 1980. Many people consider it to be the original virtual reality title. It was one of the first games that you could actually literally like move around in first person in a 3D landscape, and it was a virtual battle tank simulator. And we're bringing it bang up to date with actual genuine virtual reality. Now the technology has finally got there. We're essentially getting back to like the heart of what the game was about, and to a large extent exactly how we remember it, like fondly in our memories, because it was actually quite a slow paced kind of thing, whereas what we've created is a lot faster paced, a lot more dynamic, exciting virtual tank battling simulator. And in VR it's an incredible experience, like actually being there, being able to look around you, having that peripheral vision, looking at the sides of your tank to see things flying past you. It's really something.
And the concept sort of lends itself well to sort of avoid some of the major pitfalls of VR as well, like motion sickness and things, because you are sitting in a tank, and that's sort of, it's a natural fit.
Sure, I mean, the fact that you're sat in a vehicle sort of marries quite nicely with the fact that you're sat in a chair while you're controlling it, so you've got that, it fits what your body thinks is happening, and we work very hard to make it as comfortable an experience as possible, particularly because we've got quite a lot of extreme movement that you can do in the tank. You can move quite fast, spin around, strafing, but what we found is that with everything we've done, keeping the frame rate high and various other clever tricks, people are finding a very comfortable experience when they're not suffering motion sickness or anything with it, and seems to be working out really well.
Because it is a fine balance, because you want people to sort of experience some sort of sensation that we are actually going fast, it's actually happening things, but you don't want to take that too far.
Sure, that's right. I mean, in some ways it's kind of like often a passenger in a car can feel motion sickness when, if they're just driving and they're in control, then they don't. And that's certainly true of our game. When you're in control, like generally people are perfectly comfortable with it, because they've got good sight lines to the horizon, they've got a sense of how the vehicle's moving around them. We're allowing them to just basically take it at their own pace, and it feels perfectly natural. And because we're using quite traditional gaming controls with the DualShock controller as well, which many gamers are completely familiar with and is natural for controlling a vehicle with, the fact that we're plunging them into a virtual world which is fresh and exciting and new and can be a little bit overwhelming to start with, the fact that they've got such a comfortable and familiar way of controlling it really helps. And the fact that you can actually see that controller in VR as well, you look down and there it is, you can see the buttons, it works.
Yeah. Another thing that this is very much sort of a video game. A lot of the early VR games are experiences, if you will. This is very much a game. Can you tell us what kind of modes and things people can expect?
Well, we're certainly very proud of the fact that we're actually delivering a whole game here. It isn't just a tech demo. There's an entire campaign for you to play, which is dynamically generated as well, so it's different every time you play through it. And you can choose the routes you take in the campaign. It's split into sort of smaller missions, which will take you a few minutes at a time. So if you want to just play for a few minutes, you can do that. But if you want a several-hour session, you want to do the whole campaign, then you can do that. And if you want to play for longer, then you can do it over and over. And we've got upgrade paths through that, and the currency, so you can be upgrading your tank and like getting new weapons and upgrading your weapons. And so there's a lot of depth to the game there. And it's hopefully going to keep people entertained for a good while to come.
Will there be multiplayer as well?
We're not talking about multiplayer just yet. It's something we're investigating. Certainly at Rebellion, I think we're well known for doing a lot of multiplayer in a lot of our titles, so it's certainly something that our tech supports, but we're not announcing anything just yet about that for Battlezone.
And you have announced that it's PlayStation VR first. What's the roadmap ahead with the game? What plans do you have?
Well, yeah, as you say, we are coming out first on PlayStation VR, so we'll be a launch title there. So we'll be out when the PlayStation VR comes out in October. But we've already announced that we're coming out later on Oculus Rift as well. We'll be looking at other platforms, but yeah, we're just keen to get it into the hands of gamers.
Thank you so much for your time.
My pleasure. Thanks for coming to speak to me.
You made it. Well done.